Greetings, friends, and welcome. Pastor Michael here with our gang and a new addition to our show, Pastor Michael Scott Hume, Fairview Covenant. Wave at the crowd. They're in there, out there, wherever we are.
Hello.
We are blessed to be with Thomas Goodrich. You're back from your trails.
Yes,
Yeah, well, I don't know what you can tell us, Tom, but you get around more than anyone I know on the lakes. Mm-hmm. It's Wednesday, PastorPatio number 118, June 24th. Yes, and we're tucked back here in the Pastor Patio. Some of you are new to this. You don't know what the patio is. This is where we get real. We talk about real stuff. We don't masquerade it in religiosity and all kinds of jumbo stuff.
Don't sugarcoat it with politics too much.
No, we get real. We get real. And that's the intent, is we want to teach people what it means to walk with Christ. I want to direct you to the website, jesusinthecityfellowship.org. You can sow into the ministry, and we're looking for sponsorships, boats, trophies, Pastor's Tournament, August 4th. We'd be blessed to have you out there if you're a pastor or deacon or elder or even a Catholic priest.
This will be our biggest ever.
You think so?
Oh yeah, I've got a lot of movement going on.
That's good. Yeah, we're getting some traction too. Tom, anything going on that they need to know about Fishing for
We got a
Life?
camp right now out in Wilmer, so kids are being served. Last week it was packed. This week, Trail Pond tomorrow at the Shriners, for the children of the Shriners Hospital.
Really?
That's really fun.
Wow.
That's right over here in Edina, and then
You did that last year, I think.
yeah. So you're welcome to stop by if that would be interest for you. It is a little open to the public, but it's for those kids. So
Yeah.
that's it.
What else? Okay. Michael Scott, Pastor Michael. Now, where's your church?
So our church is in Mount Orono area. It's called Fairview Covenant Church.
That's on the northwest side of Minnetonka, for those of you that are not from Minnesota.
Jennings Bay.
Jennings Bay. Oh, yeah.
Did you have to? So is it officially a covenant church?
It is, but we're not so dyed-in-the-wool covenant. We're self-governing.
What's the big standout for covenant? Meaning they do this, believe that. What are the big top couple things that a covenant might have to
The history of it.
by?
The history of it is the Covenant Church broke off from the Lutheran Church. The Swedes came over in the late 1800s, and
Pastor Michael's got to excuse himself. He's got an emergency phone call here. But I want to circle you all back here to what we're going to be talking about today. Tom,
Yeah.
you got fishing tournament coming up.
Yep.
What else we
That's
got?
a ways out.
That's a way
I've
in
got
August.
a couple veteran events doing this. A lot of kids camps, muskie camp, catfish camp. Yeah, that's the summer. I'm embarking on my own little journey of I'm working on my project of Fishing for Life, our next phase vision for that.
Is that ready to announce?
No, but most people know, we want to get a building and
Yeah.
we want to get a home base in the metro. So that's what I'm working on.
Well, that's interesting, because I got a note here to talk about the Malta shipwreck in the book of Acts and the father's issues that we have tied into men fishing and dealing with the issues that come up over Father's Day, and there's many of them. Some children are estranged from their parents. We have epidemic of 20 to 30-year-olds.
Yeah, it's just as often that the parent rejects the kid as it is the kid rejects the parent. You might think, okay, the kid doesn't want to hang around me, he's angry too. I've seen plenty of examples where fathers say, have a nice life, because they can't hang out or bear with the decisions the kid's making. It's kind of quite often an issue of maturity, I think. I know, hey, I don't ever want to say those words, but we're all a hairline fracture away from saying anything.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. I like that analogy, because we're sinners saved by grace.
And we think, I'll never do that, I'll never get divorced, I'd never do this, I'll never get caught up in addiction, and everybody is just a fraction away from being there. So I don't like to say I never, because these vows can come back to bite us.
That is true. That is so true, Tom. That is so true.
And in fact, there's good scriptural reference about don't make vows. And I sometimes wonder if that's just good counsel. Is the Lord speaking specifically because He knows this world is so tricky and treacherous?
Well, the human condition is to make vows.
Yeah.
We make these promises, and they sound grandiose.
Like the big one. I'll never be like my dad. And you end up just like your dad.
Or Peter says, "I'll never deny you," and
I'll never deny you.
And,
Well,
and that's what he
one.
does the third time. He denies him, and friends, that's the trouble. As I was talking about the prodigal son here with Pastor Michael Scott, and the parable of the lost son is this father who seemed to love both his sons equally, but they both received it differently, and the older son became self-righteous, and the younger son...
You're the older son, right?
I'm the oldest. Yeah.
And I'm the youngest.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And so I've always been fascinated by birth order stuff.
How many were
and
yours?
It probably
How many siblings?
6. It probably plays out, if you had to say, here's a predictor of your personality, more so than the astrology stuff, more so, if birth order is a strong proponent of the way you're going to act or be, whether it's anal retentiveness, fast and loose that.
So you were scurrying around avoiding a lot of the conflict.
Oh yeah. Well, it's that kid number 6. You ain't got time to discipline anymore or pay attention.
No.
You get the hand-me-downs, and you don't get the specific attention or abuse because you are as a first child would. So it's a different dynamic.
I find that interesting because here we see the story in the parable of the lost son, and they call it the prodigal, but it's not. The word prodigal is not in there, and it talks about the rebellious son who was somewhere in there resentful of the older son, who was probably a little more self-righteous, did everything his father asked.
I would say the oldest is more resentful of the youngest.
Yes.
If I know carefree babies of the family, they probably don't stop to spend time to be resentful. They're very self-centered, living for themselves.
Yeah.
And the oldest is taking care of the farm.
And then the kid comes over to his dad and says, "I want my inheritance." Before.
I mean, that's super insulting, right?
Well,
set that up. Because it's one thing for a kid to say, "I don't like you, I don't want anything to do with you, and I don't want to be like you." It's another thing to
what he's really
make
saying,
the money grab.
You know what he's saying, Tom?
Tell me.
I wish you were dead. I want my inheritance now. I wish you were dead.
Yeah.
The son is divorcing the father. And the father did not have to give him his inheritance. In fact,
back then, because he's not the oldest, was it 50-50? You think he got 50% of something, or a portion?
It says here he got his. Let's see here. Not long after he said to his father, "Give me my share of the estate." So he divided his property between them.
Okay.
Now, the oldest was entitled to a double share.
Okay.
So that would have been 65% of the estate would go to the oldest. So the fact that the dad gave him it before he died, that's.
So he may have had a choice to say, "Get away from me, I'm writing you off," without giving him anything and kicking him. But this may have been a very wise play on his part.
Well, the son came to his senses after he squandered everything.
For father to give him half, what do you think is behind that? I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, the point of the story is Jesus is talking about the love of the Father.
Right. But if you're that father, that's a tough position. He wants you dead. He'd rather have the money, and he's cutting off relationship, and you got to play the long game with that kid, is my suggestion.
About what he's
the long game is, I have no idea what you're saying, and I'm going to give it because money is not that important. This relationship's more go on your way with the money. I mean, that's the long game versus cutting them out of the will, ostracizing them, and losing them for life.
Well,
that's a smart father, maybe.
It takes a lot of humility to do that because the son is saying to the dad, "I want my inheritance now. I wish you were dead." That's and
you bring no value to me. Your wisdom, your thoughts, your blah blah blah.
Yeah, you're worthless to me. And Now Jesus is telling this story because he's now in the beginning of chapter 15. Now the tax collectors and sinners were all gathering around to hear Jesus. But the Pharisees and the teachers of the law muttered, "This man welcomes sinners and eats with them." Then Jesus told them this story. So he talks about the lost sheep, the lost coin first. He's talking about the love of God.
Yeah.
And how God doesn't give up on us, even when we tell God, "See you later. I don't want anything to do with you. I think you're a mean God," or whatever. And we see that going on. I hear these stories over and over, and maybe God's allowing this for a bigger purpose. That I always ask myself this question.
Me too. But
And what's the heart of God? Because you parents out there know the story. You children out there maybe don't know the story of the prodigal, and that means you got to take it in. This younger son thought his dad didn't love him. Okay, and he thought his brother was, too good for himself. How do we handle that when we're in those situations when jealousy sticks its head up? I go back to, okay, today I can see this, but when I was 25 or 30, I felt, I think I know more than my old man.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to play that out. My father died earlier.
How old were you when he passed?
24.
Wow.
Yeah, and so, however, I get what you're saying, and yeah.
Well, the question that we have to ask, Tom, is how did this affect our view of God? That's what I go back to, because my view of God was so skewed. I thought God was mean, judgmental, harsh, and I had to be perfect to please him. I couldn't wrap my brain around that he loved me even with my failings and my humanity, and I just thought I had to be perfect. And then I go into this condemnation place of darkness. And as we read the prodigal son, the kid comes to his senses. He realized how good he had it, and he comes running back. And the prodigal father is waiting. He is waiting for his son to return. Now, what that does to me is it talks about the picture of us praying for our children and God not giving up on us.
Right. And God plays the long game quite often, too, as we see this father give up his inheritance, which is also a parable, for God give up Jesus in that regard. He plays the long game because he knows we're not going to get out of our own way. We're going to
screw it up.
Human beings do and did, and he sent Jesus to solve that issue because unfortunately we're not getting out of our way. That little boy wouldn't get out of his own way.
Do we know our own weaknesses? Do we?
Well, as Aristotle says, the beginning of wisdom is to know thyself.
Yes.
And I really like that. Now, sometimes that conflicts with the beginning of wisdom is to fear of the Lord.
Well,
they're both. I like them both.
The fear of the Lord is an acknowledgement that I'm not in control.
That's right. And to know thyself is to see your blind spots, know your weaknesses, where you're going to get tripped up by another person, where, because of probably mom and dad issues, and they trigger you, trip you up, and you keep going in. And to know that is not a bad place to start. I always look at who trips me up and what people and what are the actions that can trip me up.
And now we look at what's going on in just our country. It's the insanity. I have to look for, okay, where is God in this stuff? He's allowing people their own devices. But on the flip side, we're coming into the 250th celebration of our country next week. Are you following the World Cup soccer?
I am, and I'm following the reflection pool, and I'm following...
check this out.
What do you got?
I'm going to tie this back to God. These, there's 46 or 48 countries playing soccer. I'm not a soccer guy. Well, now, look at the foreigners come into our country, and they're driving around the country, and they're ecstatic.
Mesmerized by the size of the truck
slushy,
stops.
the slushy,
yeah.
the
Oh, that's
slushies.
the fat American.
Yeah, but they think it's wonderful. They're saying, "What a great country! You got all these great truck stops,
Yeah.
all the scenery." Buc-ee's, yeah,
Buc-ee's,
that's
the
in
truck
Texas, yeah.
Oh, they are huge.
I
They're monstrosities. They're like a Home Depot, but bigger for a truck stop.
Yeah, I've seen a few of these big ones down in Iowa, but there's a story of a couple or maybe 4 people that flew into New York from Europe, maybe Ireland or England, and then they drove to Texas, and they were astounded. The free refills and all the amenities.
The gluttony, yeah.
And they just said this is wonderful, and the barbecue. Friends, are you grateful to God that we're still born in the greatest country in the world in spite of our challenges and problems?
Yeah. Well, we won the lottery by being born here.
Yeah.
It is, when you put stuff in perspective, tough to complain. But it's kind of relative. We are we're where we're at, and we still
the lost son is a lot like the people that I'm going to say it, that hate the country. Yeah. There's no gratitude underneath this. This comes back to gratitude. Are we grateful, Tom? Are we grateful? Are you grateful? What's going on with that? I'm gonna just wrap this up here. Are you walking in gratitude, or are you walking in anger and bitterness? The older son was self-righteous. He appreciated his father, but he was resentful of the younger brother. And that's kind of a picture of a church that's pretty uppity about itself.
Yeah, I think those are definite sin patterns.
Yeah.
The oldest son, he's as much, in my opinion, a part of the storyline as he cannot experience forgiveness or the joy of having his brother back, and
what's
he gets
interesting,
challenged
Tom?
on that too.
It says the last paragraph. My son, the father said, "You were always with me, and everything that I have is yours. For we had to celebrate and be glad because the brother of yours was dead, and he is alive now. He was lost and is found." That's how the church is supposed to react when the sinners walk in, not self-righteous. Nowhere does it say that the older son attitude changed.
Yeah, I know. But he's not cast out.
No.
He needs an attitude adjustment.
He needs an attitude. So how does that attitude adjustment come? We can't fix people. We can only pray for them. We can't even fix ourselves on our own power. We got to submit to the Lord for that to happen. So I'm going to bring this back to the cross. Have you asked Jesus Christ into your heart? Have you made him Lord of your life? Are you walking around in bitterness, anger, and unforgiveness? Are you angry with people about something they may not even know why you're angry? This man resented.
Yeah.
He somewhere in there resented his brother, the younger son.
Yeah.
And the older son, there's obviously tension, but somewhere in there, the younger son came to his senses. That's a picture of repentance, of when we come to the cross and realize we need help. I need help. I need help, Tom. I can be vindictive and self-righteous real quickly. So, if you have not asked Jesus into your heart right now, I'm going to ask you to say, Jesus, will you be my Lord and Savior? I want to encourage you to pray that prayer. If you're struggling with suicide thoughts of anger and bitterness, resentment towards family members, ask the Lord to forgive your heart and bring healing. If you need to call us, if you're struggling, Tom works with wounded warriors and vets. We want to help you. You can get help. Call us, text Chrissy at 612-227-1946, or you can reach out to us on our website, jesusinthecityfellowship.org. Now, we're going to bless you in the name of Jesus to walk in favor and walk in faith and trust in him with all your heart and lean not upon your own understanding. The Lord bless you today, and send this message out. Like us on Facebook. Go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Have a great day.